The Bamboo Project wholesaling video starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project YouTube channel. My name is Donivan Gray.
And my name is Melissa Burnett. We currently have over 300 videos on our channel of our Dr. Sabi inspired diet, travel vlogs, sports, music, clothing, podcast, beauty, and everything us. We live in New York City, and this is episode 14 of our virtual wholesaling series, where we give weekly updates on our journey to close our very first deal.
We started this series for people who want to get into wholesaling, who don't have any money, who don't have any mentors, and want the perspective of people just starting out. Today is Monday, January 25th, and this is last week's update. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I don't have anything to update y'all with. Wholesaling is not my main focus anymore. I honestly, there's been a lot of different things that happened in the past 2 weeks. So yeah, this is episode 14, but this is 2 weeks worth of wholesaling. So last week we actually went to Atlanta to figure out our Airbnb situation and if we're gonna do it, how we're gonna do it, where we're gonna get the apartment. So that was last week. So we didn't do wholesaling at all last week. And there is a vlog that's coming up from the trip, our trip.
She didn't do wholesaling at all last week.
Atlanta.
I was wholesaling. I don't know what she's talking about. I was definitely wholesaling.
You asked me what I have to say.
You said we didn't do any wholesaling last week. I'm like, that's not true.
Oh, sorry. I ain't do no wholesaling last week.
Which also probably isn't true either, but.
What did I do last week that was wholesale related?
Running numbers.
Oh, I ran some numbers. The nitty gritty work is the phone calling. So if it's not phone calling, I don't feel like I'm really doing that much. But you know, it is what it is. Last week for me, all I did was run numbers. This week I didn't do anything. Going forward, I'm going to be focusing on the clothing project. So if you guys aren't aware, in the beginning, you saw all those different pictures and everything. We named the different projects, but clothing is one of the things that I do. That's what I'm going to be focusing on so that I can get income for me personally and / for the business, so that can help us get the Airbnb, and there's a lot of other stuff with that. So that's pretty much what's been going on with me.
Melissa, I was going to ask you this earlier, but since we're here, and we're here now.
I don't like this.
How much time can you dedicate to helping me wholesale each day? Mostly what I need is the leads list to go over that and like just kind of figure out what the new prices are of the properties, if they on market or not, and then run the numbers. That
all depends on what you listen. That depends on how much clothes I'm be making.
Can you dedicate 2 hours to helping me?
Yeah, I was thinking 5 at first.
Oh,
but that's a lot.
5 is
no,
fine.
2.
5 is fine.
2 is good.
3.5.
I like 2. 2. He
I
came
think
up with number 2.
I think we got somewhere in the middle because I feel like 2, but it is too small.
But that's the number that you wanted. So
it
2
was,
is good.
It was, but now that you mentioned it, you're right.
No.
Honestly, because here's the thing. Here's why I say 2. Because I know that you are gonna be doing other stuff in those 2 hours. So it's gonna be like 45 minutes and not actually 2 hours. You're gonna be taking a nap, watching Naruto, so on and so forth. So that's why I'm like, it's probably not gonna be.
You could get that's 2 hours out of work. Fine. You could get 3.
3.5.
3.
3 and 15 minutes.
3.
All right, 3. I can do 3. 3 is fine.
Donovan's a tyrant. He'll be like,
I'll be like,
I saw
hey,
you blink for 5 minutes,
that's
so that's an
blink.
extra 5
that's
minutes.
That's a long ass. As you guys know, the week before last, honestly, the last 2 weeks, I guess you could say, there were no videos going up. So that would mean that 1 week we didn't do any videos. As Melissa already said, that's because we were doing Atlanta, Airbnb, all types of crazy. It was a whole thing. And like I said, or she said, a video is going to go up kind of going into that, an actual trip or a vlog of us going down there. And I kind of talked about it in the podcast too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in there.
Yes, in the podcast.
Yeah. So that's why. And I figured also, because I didn't do a lot of wholesaling, I'm like, okay, I don't want to just come on here with like one thing. Like, yeah, I did a call and one person said this. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me combine both week 14 and 15 and then put that out as episode 14. I was going to start off with what happened in the first week, but I think I'm going to go backwards because what's in my mind is what happened most recently. And again, starting this off by saying, people that keep telling you cannot wholesale in Philadelphia is not true. It's not true. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that. It is not true. I talked to somebody yesterday again. She was an agent I called because now I'm starting to get back into wholesaling full time. Well, that part of my real estate investment journey full time.
Until this is in the meantime, until the 3 months are up or 6 months is up.
I do wholesale. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think you're trying to get. You're like, I know we're not doing. Yes, this is something that we'll be doing for the rest of our life. And that's what I think you're not understanding. I'm going into wholesaling full time, right? I'm going back into wholesaling full time. Melissa does not want me to do that. It sounds like, is this a true statement?
No.
Okay, it's not a true statement. Okay, cool.
No,
Okay, so she doesn't care. Cool. So over the last couple of weeks, because like I said, we were starting to get an Airbnb and things had started going kind of haywire with wholesaling, I took like a little step back because I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what can I change and what can I do better to get more deals. So I wasn't doing the cold calling every day like I was doing before. I started doing that recently. I'm actually going to do that again when we get off of this or finish here, and just kind of getting back on the phone every single day for an allotted amount of hours every day and just call and just run numbers. I'm just going to get back into it like I was before. In the last couple of weeks, I was more so, like I said, organizing the team, running numbers on deals that were sent to me, but I wasn't actually proactive as I have been in the past with looking for them myself. Still doing them, but like I said, I need to start going. This amount of time of the day is for me to look for leads or to generate leads. I started off by saying that Philadelphia, you can wholesale, right? I talked to somebody yesterday on the phone and she was actually an agent. Well, she was an agent for the property and she's also a wholesaler. So she was telling me that she finds other deals, she'll bring them to me. I told her I do wholesale sometimes too, so we can JV on it. I told her, hey, if I have things that I don't like and I don't want to flip them or buy it, then I could just send it to you and we can JV on it and figure something out. She said, okay, that sounds cool. So I'm like, all right, that's a good idea. Like I said, my thing is, I don't really like just saying I'm strictly a wholesaler. It seems to turn people off. But my friend in Baltimore, he does that, and he seems to get great responses when he says it. He's like, hey, I'm a wholesaler. They go, oh, great, I'm a wholesaler too. He actually had a situation which is very strange. The agent is actually JVing with somebody on this property. And he asked him, like, hey, can I get the contract for it? And the guy sent him an assignment contract and not the original contract. So when he actually sent him the original contract, this particular guy, the agent, is not on that contract. So it's very confusing as to how the agent is a part of the deal other than him actually being just the agent. But he's talking about getting PC on the assignment fee. So I think it's going to be like daisy chaining. I think that's what's happening here. But like I said, when he tells me he's a wholesaler in Baltimore, everybody seems to be like, all right, cool. My experience with that, people go, yeah, I'm going to talk to you later. And I never hear back from them ever again. So me, I say I'm an investor. And sometimes if I don't like a deal, I will wholesale it. Or I will assign it to one of my partners that I work with because they may do buy and holds. And I don't do that right now. That's something I'll say. One of the reasons why I do not say that I am a wholesaler is because something that happened to me yesterday as well. These are reasons why I don't do it. I'm on the phone with this guy. Everything's going great. We're talking. And it seems like he had PTSD. He started telling me all the stories he had to deal with was wholesaler. He's like, I hate it. He started, if you ever seen, what was the meme I was talking about?
A pick me. No.
It was
My Turn.
Yeah, My Turn. The guy, I forgot his name, Skip Bayless, right?
Oh, coach.
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about this.
Take me out. It's my turn. It is. You told me it was my turn.
You can talk all that you want to, yelling.
This is gonna be the game of the year right here. So text me.
Okay, I can do that.
I'm easy to work with. But no assignments. I don't like any assignments. It's got to be contract name is the buyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you had bad stuff with assignments before? What happened with that?
Nah, it's just a lot of them are just bullshit. You know what I mean? Like these guys, they run around, they look for places, and they try to sell the paper in 45 days, and then if it falls through, they don't want to. I don't need all that. It's a solid house that's going to sell. I don't have time to waste with people.
People been trying to sell assignments on market stuff.
Yeah. That's what they do. Off market stuff. That's what they text me all the time. Off market now, and you know what? They're changing a lot of laws around for off market stuff now. So it's very shunned upon. They play too many games. Like people aren't serious. You know what I mean? That's what they do. They try to sell paper. Like that's what I do. That's my fucking job. I'm the realtor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a seller that wants to sell a house. I find a buyer. They got all these middlemen come in that want to steal the house and find their own buyer. Get the fuck out of here. They're the worst to deal with. The wholesalers are the worst to deal with. I won't deal with them. I don't have time for that. I'm a legit realtor. I'm busy. I have a successful business, and I deal retail. You know what I mean? That's my job. I deal with a lot of investors. I work with builders. I work with flippers. But these wholesalers, they're like car salesmen, dude. It's all bullshit. I ain't got time for that.
Wow.
See? I'm talking straight.
Listen, I like that. I love that.
I tell you, listen, I ain't got time. I'm watching a football game. I have no interest in whatever you're trying to sell. 7-0, Tampa Bay. 2, 3, we'll knock it out. You like it? You buy it. You make an offer. Use me as the realtor. Give me a pre-approval with, like a bank, like a real bank, not like Cracker Jacks. Like Joe's Auto Garage and Lending Service.
You've had that before?
I've had that.
Oh my
trying
goodness.
to pull that shit off. Lending Tree. I ain't got time for no internet shit. The guys in Ohio. We're sitting at settlement. There's no money, no papers. And guess what? He ain't answered his email.
Wow.
I ain't got time for that.
Wow.
I've been doing this 22 years. I deal with local lenders. I can drive there, and I can punch him in his fucking face. You know what I mean? That's what I like. That's how I like to deal. So text me back. Let me know. And listen, I got other stuff I'm going to text you.
Okay,
so
that's good.
For that area, I got one on 303 East Indiana.
That's how this guy was yesterday. He was like, I'm the realtor. You come in and you get an assignment fee and I'm supposed to get paid and now I can't get my money. You doing my job. That's what he was saying yesterday, right? He was going through that, yelling about how they be bringing him fake online proof of funds and lenders that he never heard of. He's like, I don't do Lending Tree no more. I hate people sending me Lending Tree, proof of funds. Then he was telling me that he had a situation, if not more than one. I think he's been doing this for close to 20 years. Where he would get a deal or he would get a person who's going to buy the property and they would just not show up at the closing table. So imagine that. And like I said, I understand as an agent, this is probably embarrassing, one, and it's just unprofessional. Think of it from both sides, right? You're a homeowner and you want to sell your house. And you go, hey, Mr. Agent, can you sell my house for me? They go, sure. Hey, I found somebody who wants to buy your house. That person goes, okay, I can close your house at the end of the month. Perfect. The seller comes to the closing table at the end of the month, sits down with their agent and goes, all right, I'm ready to sell my house. And now you're sitting there for an hour waiting for somebody to call you or contact you about this property, and it never happens. So you're like, wait a minute. Wait, we went through all of this, 30 days, and he was saying 45-day closing. And nobody showed up? How is that possible? How is it that somebody walked the property, we were talking to them all month. They sent me EMD and everything else, and they just don't show up. And as a seller, you think I'm gonna sell my house. You might have made plans already. You probably talked to whoever you're gonna move to. You probably made all types of plans and things like that. And now what? You're not moving. So that's very frustrating, right? Then think of it as an agent. How embarrassing it is to tell an owner, I have your house sold. I have the contract. I know who's selling it. Everything is good. Let's go get paid. I'll get my commission. You'll get your money for selling the house, and you can move on with your life and do what you want to do. And now, you sitting there with a dunce cap on like, damn, I thought the person was going to come. And now the owner probably like, what do you mean you thought they were going to come? What do you mean you thought they were going to come? Why are they not here? And you have no explanation. Well, he told me he was going to be here. He's not. He said he was trying to contact them a lot and they wouldn't respond to him. And just think, like I said, it's embarrassing for him to have to explain what probably happened. And then on top of that, you have to think about how the owner probably feels now, which is like, you know what? It's exhausting to have to come through this. Imagine you do that more than once. Imagine it happens to you twice back to back as you're an owner and an agent. You're like, damn, I don't want to work with you no more. And imagine as an agent, this happened to you over and over and over and over again, where you're just like, yo, I'm just losing credibility as an agent because every time I think I have a deal, it's a bullshit wholesaler who's lying, who don't have no buyers or anything like that, and they just be fucking up. So, and like I said, y'all see me go from where I was to where I am now. So I understand both sides. I understand you get into the game trying to make money quick as possible, and like I just want to sell it. So you get a property in the contract thinking it's a good deal, not knowing the numbers, and then it goes wrong. I get that 100%. The thing I would say to prevent that for anybody that wants to get into wholesaling, number one is you're not a wholesaler. First rule I would say is you are not a wholesaler. Don't think of yourself as a wholesaler. You're not a wholesaler. Right now, you're flipping contracts until you have enough money to buy your own house. You're not going to come in here and, well, I don't believe you're going to come in here and make a bunch of money and then be like, all right, I made my $20K in the first month. I'm good. I don't want to make no more money no more. And when I feel like doing it again, I'll come back in and flip through more contracts. I don't think that's how it works. That's not my experience. Honestly, the only person I've ever seen that got contracts that fast was probably Lili and maybe a couple other people. Lili Thompson, y'all probably already know who that is. She's probably the only person I've seen who's gotten contract within that amount of time. However, she's been doing real estate for a long time. So it's not like she woke up one day and said, oh, I found a video on wholesale. Let me just go and start wholesaling. She was house hacking before that. She was probably reading on real estate before she even got into house hacking. Before she was house hacking, she had to read on how to house hack. That's real estate. Then she was house hacking. That's more real estate. Then from that time to when she actually started wholesaling, that's more knowledge that she's learning about wholesaling and real estate and things like that. So even with her, she started looking for leads to generating leads, and then got her first deal. I think was it 3 weeks or 6 weeks? You remember? I think it was several weeks. I don't know how many weeks it was. It might have been 6 or 7 weeks. I'm not sure. She got her first deal. But people think they're going to just pull up, watch videos for a month, and then boom, next month they're going to just get a contract signed. And my experience is that's not how that works. So that would be my first step, to say you're not a wholesaler. Second thing is, think of it as a long-term play. Think of it like, okay, I am doing this for the rest of my life, or at least the next 20 years, I'm going to be trying to wholesale. If you are not thinking of it like that, I think it's a bad way to go about it, because you just kind of get quick money out of it, and that's probably not the best idea to go with. You can come up on some money if you either get lucky or somebody puts you on, or you come across, especially off market. So like I said, that guy, he was yelling about being a realtor. He was yelling about the closing dates. He was yelling about online proof of funds. He was saying he don't like doing sight unseen offers because of that. He was saying that the walkthroughs, he don't a bunch of contingencies in there that he has to like. It's a mess, and like I said, he sounded very traumatized. So, however, with that being said, I'm probably still going to try to sign the contract because here's what I believe with most people who are agents to begin with. I believe that they want to make money. They want to sell the house for the owner of the house. I think that they want that process to be as seamless as possible. So, for this particular deal, it's a $79,000 house that's being sold. He said he'll do 65 for me. I told him I'll have somebody come look at it. But before I said that, he told me it's no assignable. He says not assignable, no assignments. And he said that I'm not doing an offer if it's sight unseen. I'm like, all right, cool. And now, y'all already know I've been trying to build up a team in Philly because things like this keep coming up. So now I have people in Philly who can go and look at the property. They'll send me videos of it, and I can kind of do a better due diligence period. And it seems that it's more legit when I have somebody actually go there. Because a lot of times, as you know, when I first started, I couldn't have anybody go to the property. So for me, that gives me a leg up on somebody who may call from Ohio and go, hey, I want to put an offer on this property. They go, okay, come look at it. And they go, oh, I can't do that. Now I have somebody go look at it. So I seem like I'm being more serious with the deal. Now, like I said, the offer is the house is $79,900. He said he'll do $65,000. The rent in that area is like $900 and up. I've seen $1,000 and up too for the same kind of house. People who are watching the video, if you are a buy and hold person, if you buy and hold properties, please, I'm trying to understand how to do buy and hold formula. And can you contact me, comment, email me something, because I just want to know what the formula works for you, especially if you're in Philadelphia. It's even better. Or anywhere else, because I find buy and holds all the time. They're cheaper, so I can negotiate the price down a little bit more. Especially the person that owns it, they usually don't mind going down in price because it's not that much money either way. I feel like I've noticed that a lot, but I don't know who to give these to. So I'm talking to my guy TJ in Philly, and he has somebody who does buy and holds. He was saying I should probably get the property for under $60,000, and then I could probably flip it if it's under $60,000. But because the guy does not want to assign it, I'm thinking, okay, what I'm gonna do is I would go to Philadelphia at the closing date. I would drive to Philadelphia or get a car or whatever the case might be, sit down with the guy who's flipping the contract with the agent and the owner, and sit there and go, okay, here's the assignment contract, sign it right in front of me. You're buying the house. I'm assigning it to him. You're getting your pay. He's getting his pay. Everything is good. That's how I'm looking at it as. Honestly, and for me, I say this a lot, and I don't think people really understand this. It's not even really about the money anymore. I want to know what a deal is when I assign it. And even with this one, I was telling TJ, like, hey, if you find a guy, if one of your guys wants to buy it, you can give it. I'll send it to him right now. Like, I don't care if he's gonna try and steal it. I don't care if the owner or the buyer's gonna try and do some shady stuff. Give it to him. If he wants it, great. If he wants to pay me on the back end for that, that's even better. But I just want to be able to say, listen, I know what deals are, I know what they look like, and here's one for you. I know I'm gonna get paid if I know what deals look like. Then I know, okay, I found a guy who I gave it to. He didn't pay me, which is fine, but I know I'm gonna find 5 or 6 more just like this and give it to somebody else, and even maybe give it to him in the future. But I'm like, I need to know exactly what a buy and hold formula looks like and what people pay for these landlord type of deals. As I've been doing more comping of properties and things like that, right? I personally feel like the whole major street thing, like it's don't cross highways, don't cross major streets, don't cross ponds and rivers and lakes and stuff like that. I think that's all garbage. I think that is what beginners use. So I guess if you're a beginner, you should definitely use that. But I think the reason that they tell you these things is because those things usually divide a area. So you may see a park and go, okay, that on the other side of that park is different. It's going to have higher property value, right? But one thing I've been noticing is that I'll look at properties and there'll be the same house across a highway, across a major street, or things like that. I think I said this before. One of my friends is flipping a property in Jersey. He sent me what it looks like for an appraiser, what the paper actually looks like. I saw it. This guy he's going a mile away, a mile and a half away. He's crossing everything you could think of: railroads, parks, highways, everything. He's crossing all of that stuff. And his job is to appraise properties. So if his job is to appraise properties and he's using properties that are all the way over there, then if I find one that's a block away across a major road, it's going to be a comp because he will use the same thing. Now, again, with that being said, I've been doing this for, about to be 4 months now. Use Google Maps. I don't know if people do this enough. If you find a property and all numbers look good, just Google Map it. Just go put the address on Google Maps and see what the street looks like. Look at the area on the street and just double check. I see that across the street there is a landfill. I'm like, ooh, I ain't see that on Zillow. It ain't show me that. That I should pay attention to that. I just want to see what the area looks like. That's important to know. The guideline of don't cross major streets, don't cross highways, don't cross railroads, that guideline is not set in stone. And when I started, I thought it was like, oh, this is set in stone. Do not pass these lines. And I'm like, that's not really the case. Also in Philadelphia, I'm working on another deal, which I'm trying to figure out how to get this done because I called the property that TJ has sent me, it was a great deal. I talked to the guy, the agent on the property, and he was like, yeah, look, I have a package deal. It's like 27 properties. The guy already sold 5 or 6 of them. He wants to sell the rest of them. I'm like, okay, send those to me. They are all buy and holds right now, currently rented with tenants. Right? And the package in the entirety is like $1.7 million, something like that. And he says you have to buy at least 3 at a time. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because I have this Leandra who's in Minneapolis and she has a person like that who wants to buy them. So now I'm trying to figure out, can I wholesale the whole list or can I just do 3 at a time? And like I said, if I had my own buyers in Philly who I know who are like, I'm coming to get these deals, I would have deals for them. Especially if my eyes are getting like, you ever get like salt in your eyes? So I'll be able to knock these down. And these are all off market too, by the way. So 3 or 4. Oh shit, 409 subscribers. 409 subscribers. Listen, this is a little bit off top from wholesaling, right? It's just a little funny thing. There are videos still on the channel that have 3 views. And I think it's so funny because we were making videos when it was literally us watching them. Yeah. And we would like I didn't want to watch the videos on YouTube. I didn't want to not
add up the views.
Yeah, I didn't want to add the views up there. I'm like, damn, let me just leave it there. So they have 3 views, 5 views. I would accidentally click on it and be like, damn, I gave it an extra view. And now every time I get a subscriber, I just be like, shit, we have 409? Like, oh shit. So that was, Melissa just showed me that. So I'm like, all right, if I could wholesale the whole thing, that could be a really big margin for that. Or even 3 of them. But I know I can negotiate the price down if I'm buying a lot of properties. But I need more buyers. Before, I was building a team of people who could find properties. We got that. We locked in on that. We know. I know what a deal looks like. I'm good. But I don't want to get a property under contract if I do not have buyers. If you know anybody in Philadelphia that buys properties, send them my number. Or not my number. Send them my name, my email. Connect us in some way. And we can get on the phone, do something. Because I'm trying to figure out how to get these buy and holds out. Once I get in the contract, it's gonna be easy. I just need to get people to buy them. I really want to close that big one because it's like I said, it's a package. And she said she knows a hedge fund manager and he wants to buy stuff like this. I'm like, bet, that's great. I got some stuff. Let's see if we can move this. So now I'm waiting back to hear from her to see what's going on with that. One of the people that we added to the team recently is Jamie. He's in Texas, and he gave me some great like advice or information or just something to try to use. I should call hard money lenders and see if they would give me a deal on a property, right? And they would run the numbers for that, and then I would be able to know kind of what a good deal looks like. So I haven't done it yet, but anybody who, just starting out, something you could try. Calling a hard money lender, I don't really know how the process would work. I've never called one, so I'm thinking maybe if you gave it to them, they would run the numbers for you and say, nah, this wouldn't work. If you get the property at, $20,000 instead of $45,000, we could do it. And then when they do that, they can explain to you probably why. And you might only be able to get maybe 2 or 3 of those out of each hard money lender. But that would just be good for you to kind of understand what deals look like and things like that. So I'm definitely gonna try that when I get into when I get a property that I think is either really good or just to test out that idea. I'm definitely gonna give a hard money lender a call. Do I know any hard money lenders? Real estate is about having a team. Either have a team or a lot of money. And if you have a lot of money and no team, you gonna overspend on everything. Everything you buy is gonna be overpriced if you have all the money and no team. If you have a team and no money, things get a little bit cheaper. Now, if you have both, which is what I'm trying to do, then it's like easy pickings. It's like, oh, just what? I have the money and you gonna give me a discount? Here, take it. So that's what I'm trying to get to right now. That's where I'm at with that part of it. This is more so week 14 that I had on the list, right? The first property we're going to go look at is in Atlanta. No. It's not in Atlanta. That's not true. It's in Philadelphia. That's very true. Whatever weekend that was, we had went to Philadelphia first. And if we had got approved for the property, we didn't go through with it because a whole bunch of Airbnb stuff happened, which, like I said, that's not what this is necessarily for. This is the wholesaling section of the Bamboo Project. So with that, I'm like, hey, if we had got approved for it, I would have moved in there and I would have gotten my license in Philadelphia as an agent and then been doing my investing in there. So I was actually considering moving to Philadelphia, but I don't really think it's a good market for short-term rentals or corporate housing. It's not something I'm really fond of, but it was on the plate as like, okay, this could happen. Now I am hell-bent on going to Atlanta. Like I am like locked in on trying to figure out how can we go to Atlanta. Like the plan and the goal over the next 6 months is to get to Atlanta. And when I get there, I'm flipping, I'm corporate housing, I'm wholesaling, I'm getting my license, everything. Everything I could do for an agent or as an investor for real estate, I'm doing all of those things.
And me, I'm going to have my lashes done. I'm going to get my BBL. I'm going to become an Atlanta stripper.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Is she gonna, what about your breasts? Are you getting your breasts done? What else do they do? You got to get your eyelashes done. You got to get your breasts done. You got to get your butt done. Oh. Moving to Atlanta, I want to do that over the next 6 months. That's the plan. We have a strategy right now in place to do that. We're just implementing it day by day, trying to get to that point. Yeah. So this is the last part. This is Jerry Norton. I did it wasn't Watch Me Wholesale. It was a video where somebody called Nick got a deal, and I was excited. I think he's in Philadelphia. I feel like, is he in Philadelphia? He's in Philadelphia. He got a bunch of deals. I think he got 3 deals like in his first month or 3 months, something like that. I think he had an agent or a friend who was doing it for him, which again, this is great. Like I said, you have to have people on your side. You have to have a team. If you think you're going to do this without a team, I'm letting you know right now, it's probably going to be very difficult. Like, unless you have a bunch of free time, you're going to have to get a team. And it don't have to be a huge team like I want to do. It could be just you and, an agent that you know and a buyer that you know. But you have to, you should have people, you should have relationships with somebody, like relationships. And I think that's the best way to get deals. I just felt like the title was misleading, or maybe I thought that he was somebody that went out there and just got deals. That was a real estate text message. I have more work to do, so I'm going to get back to that. And this is the end of this episode. Anything you want to add in to today's episode?
Another reason why you would want to check out the area is because you might think that your house is the worst looking house on the block, but the house next door looks bad too. So you also have to take that into consideration, because whoever's going to rehab it, if they fix up that house, I think there's this lady on YouTube that I really like. I forgot her name. It's an Asian lady, and she does like flips, like fix and flips in like San Francisco, California, I think. But either way, that happened to one of her houses where she was renovating a house. You know, everything was done. Her house would not sell because when people would come to the open house, the house next door looked so bad that she redid the outside of their house for free so she could sell her own house that she had as an investment. So it just goes back into like what Donivan is saying, where you need to kind of have a relationship with your buyers and also to be an investor and not just a wholesaler, because an investor thinks about that. They think about the school district, they think about what the surrounding area of the house looks like and stuff like that. But if you're just considering, if you're just looking at wholesaling, you're only going to look at comps, you're only going to look at numbers, and that's it.
Yeah, right. And because nobody really talks about what the house next door looks like. So one thing I would suggest as the final note for this video, watch videos of flippers. I would say watch 80%, I would say like 70-30. I would say watch 70% videos on flipping and then 30% videos on wholesaling, because at the end of the day, wholesaling is not a real thing necessarily. I don't want to say that. It starts off with real estate. You were selling a house first. That was the first thing. I want to sell my house.
Yeah, it's an exit strategy.
Right, exactly. It wasn't like I want to start a business from this. This business came from people who couldn't sell their house and said, damn, I want somebody else to sell it for me. Here's a contract. You sell the contract. So know what real estate investing is, know what flipping is, know what buying, holding is, know all of those things, and then go, okay, I would buy this, but I can't because I'm broke. So because I can't, I'm going to give it to this person. That's the mindset you should have. So with that being said, Bamboo Project out.